Well, it's summertime, so here is a barbecue that we've been given, and we're sort of doing it up. And it works, it all works, but the igniter is not great. So let me show you where we're at. When I got it, there was a cover on this ignition bit here, this sparker. Actually not working now, but I'm not surprised. This bit was full of green liquid. It's all corroded and horrible. So I did a temporary. You can see some of it on there. I did a sort of temporary bypass just to test it. It's actually not working. It was working quite reliably before, but obviously this looks a bit naff. So I've got to try and fix this to actually make it usable. So I think the best thing to do is use one of these. That's going to look really cool. Who doesn't want a missile launch switch for the igniter? Okay, so let's try and see if we can fix it. We're going to have to get this thing off. So I'm going to take a look underneath and see whether I can push this out. Obviously, I'll have to have a separate supply. This doesn't work. The fact that, I mean, you can still, stuff is still coming off. Let me just twist that round a minute and see how I can get. Oh, there we go. Can you hear that? So it is working, but yeah, that doesn't look great. Let's go and see what it looks like from underneath. I'm hoping that the whole thing, when you pinch this together, let me show you what it looks like. Hoping I can just pinch this together and push it down, and then we're going to have to figure out a separate power supply for that. So yeah, let me get some tools. So let's have a look at underneath. Here is where it's connected via some screws. So I'll just take the screws out. This is actually a blanking plate. It forms part of a heat shield, I think. So we'll whip that out, and then after that we'll hopefully be able to extract the unit. So I think it's only, this cover is only for the plastic igniter module itself. So give that a bit of a, one more screw. Give that a bit of a wiggle. It comes off. Apologies, I lost the audio. This is a voiceover, which is, it feels very artificial to me. But anyway, we'll continue. So those are the two connectors for the high voltage. They go to either side of the spark gap. Now we'll see if we can extract it from the top. So if I find a pair of pliers, and we'll squeeze it, and hopefully it will fall through. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Oh, there we go. Cool. That was easy to come out. So there's the unit in all its glory. It looks in pretty good condition. You just take these high tension leads off. They're clipped on. And then, oh, give it a tug. Well, let's see if the switch actually fits. Let's try it for size and see if it fits in the hole. So I'll just unscrew this thing. There's a couple of bolts on there, and a washer to hold it in place. Let's just hope it fits. Yeah, that's the second nut. So it actually pushes right through, but it does fit, which is a relief. Okay, good news. Well, there you go. So it actually works. It fits quite nice. So it depends on whether you want it that way or the other way. There are two holes you can see to either side, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's cool. That is gonna work. It's gonna look nice. We've got to try and figure out how we're gonna mount that now. So I imagine that's going to be dangling from the switch. Just, you know, decent mechanical connection, and then find out a way of mounting it underneath. Obviously, you can't put it on the any of the gas stuff, the gas mantle, or any of that stuff, because that's going to get hot. So that's no good. I don't want to drill any holes. So I think the best way is to suspend the whole assembly from the switch, because it's, you know, they're decent size nuts. There's a decent amount of surface area, and so if we can, if I can fashion a bracket, then I think that's going to work. We're now back at the bench. and unfortunately there's more lost audio, so you have to bear with me. So the thing is, we've got to take a look at this module. This is potted, as you can see, and the battery connection is buried deep inside. So I've got this little wire stuck on it. That's fine. That's the negative. The positive, unfortunately, is buried deep inside the unit, and we need to find a way to connect to that. Probably the best way, I think, is to get some kind of clip around it. I'm going to try and show you what that looks like inside. It's very difficult to see, but there's like a metal tab post that sticks up, and there is actually a lip on that post. So I'm thinking with a suitable clip to go over that post, that might work. I mean, it'll be a bit Heath Robinson, but hey, that's fine as long as it works. I think in the future I might replace the whole thing anyway, but for now that's probably going to be good. So let's see if we can get a clip on that. So the sort of clip I'm using is going to be just a crocodile clip, an alligator clip, and hopefully with some long nose pliers get that in there. But it is actually quite tricky. I don't think it's the length of a AAA battery, which is quite deep inside the unit. So that's not. It's very, very difficult to actually get that to be wide enough to clip it on. So I think we might have to get slightly medieval in our approach. I'll just take the sleeve off, so we can always sort that later, and hopefully get a bit more purchase on it. But so that kind of works, but I don't think that's gonna clip on. No, it's not going to make contact. Okay, so this clip's never going to fit. Let's get draconian. I think we need to just saw this top bit off, being careful that we don't mess about with the don't interfere with the negative, which is on the spring. We can probably take enough of it off to get to that positive post down the bottom of the battery connector of the. So you can see the spring is exposed for the negative connection, and now the positive terminal. I think we might have a better chance of actually getting it to connect. Still a little bit fiddly. There you go. That fits. Brilliant. I think we need to put a little bit of heat shrink on top of that to act as an insulator. Okay, so that's that one connected up. I think we now need to do a quick test to see whether this works. We can just use a crocodile clip, alligator clip on the negative. Before we do that, I've just actually found the original switch. So the battery goes inside there, then you push the contact down. There's like a rubber gator, and it pushes the battery down onto the contact below, and that's it. It works. I mean, it works, but it's rubbish. So we temporarily rigged this thing up. I'm going to put this on here, and this goes to the positive. In fact, if I do that, rig that up, and then let's get the switch involved. It's very rudimentary. In fact, I'm going to unplug that just in case. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I just want to be doubly sure. Right, so I put that on there as a safety, then we can go and test it in situ. Right, so that should go through the battery, and then I should get 1.2. So I definitely get 1.2 volts coming out of there, which is good. So that bit all works. Maybe it's the connection internally that doesn't work. Weirdly, it's being pulled down. 1.1 volt. Hang on a sec. Put a different battery in. Oh, it gets working. Missile launch. That's really cool. Okay, so now we've got to try and figure out how to make this look nice. So these can come off. Use those down there. Let's go back up to the bench and see what we can see. So I fashioned a bracket. It's crude, but it should work for what we need. All right. So that's what it's going to look like. There's a hole for the switch that'll poke through the case at the top and be connected missile style, which is cool. So that's that bit. This bit, but I think I'll put one nut on there to hold that in place, and then this bit goes in there. I've got to make some space for it. Yeah, I'll make sure it's centered. Okay, so there's a couple of screws there. Well, there's 3 screws, so I'll put these screws back. There's 1, 2, and what I'm going to do is actually use the 3rd screw hole into the module. I've drilled a hole down the bottom there, so I've got to get it the right length. These are very short screws, so I've got to find the right length screw. Might actually be that one there. So if I thread that through there like that, then I don't know. I'm not sure I don't think that screw's big enough. I think I'm going to need a slightly bigger screw, thicker screw. But I think this one is probably too long. I think this one will work actually. It's slightly more stubbed. The only thing I've got to worry about now is whether it affects the battery, but it doesn't seem to. It's not perfect. Ideally, I need a countersunk screw, don't I? Now that's got a 2 bulbous head on that. Here's Frankenstein's nightmare. Let's see if we can get it sorted out. First thing I'm going to do is put the battery in. It was easier to do that scrabbling around on the floor. Just realised that it's actually going to be upside down, but it's not going to fall out. Well, hopefully not. So it's currently that way, and so the heat shield is there. I mean, there's a wire there. This is not ideal, but it'll be fine. It's low voltage anyway on that side. I'm missing a vital bit. Otherwise, it's going to fall through. And that's that one. Right, let's do this. So that goes there like that. And let's put the washer on. And the first nut. Okay, that's better. Let's turn that around a bit. to hold the bottom of this. There we go. Hold the bottom of the switch. This is not easy. Okay, that's good. All right, before I go any further and do it up properly, we're gonna test it. Let's test it, shall we? So, first lead into Frankenstein's starter. Just hold because it's a little stiff. Okay, that's it. I think that went in very easily. I think that's. Okay, well, let's test it anyway. So that's in there. Hey! Ha! Okay, that works. And let's do it up. Right, I've got a pair of pliers, long nose pliers. I've got to be careful. I don't want to scratch stuff. I need to do it carefully and get it straight enough. I think I might as well put the other one on. Acts as a lock nut. Okay, let's fire it up. I love the smell of barbecue in the evening. That's really cool. It's a stupid thing, but I love it. That's brilliant. See you next time. Cheers.